Well, that was a very long call with my dad. Didn't expect it, but he wanted to know all about my coding. Because I haven't talked to him in a while about that. But I want to have a look at this video real quick, so let's do that. Man, I was feeling so sick earlier. I had to leave. My God. Are you sleeping anymore? Yep. God, okay. Let's check this out.
Basic V stack. This gray rectangle here, that's my placeholder for the 3D content. Then I have a V stack for my title and little blurb. Then I have a spacer and a get started button. Very basic SwiftUI, but if you want to follow along in real time, go ahead and pause the video here and type that out real quick. But like I said, this rectangle is the placeholder for our 3D content. But how do we get that content into Xcode? How do we animate it like you see here? That's where Spline comes in. And it's a no-code workflow to create 3D content for the Apple ecosystem. It's a design tool like a Sketch or a Figma, but specifically for 3D designs. Like, their goal is to make it easy to create 3D content for Apple platforms in the web. Side note, they released a 15-minute Apple-esque keynote showcasing their features. I recommend checking it out. It'll give you a bunch of cool ideas. The link will be in the description. Here I am in Spline. You can use their web app, but this is the macOS app. That's what I chose to use. But let's talk about you getting this 3D content, because you're an iOS developer. It's highly unlikely that you're also a very good 3D artist as well. So there's a few ways to go about this. Of course, you could hire a 3D artist if you have the funds for your app, or maybe you're at a company that already has one. Or you can use pre-existing content. For example, Spline in their library has a bunch of scenes that you can use here. I'll scroll down. You can see all these scenes with multiple objects. See, they got iPhones, Apple Watches, all kinds of good stuff. Even a whole bunch of individual objects, right? Because this scene that you see here, right, this is a bunch of stuff all in one scene. But if you want just individual objects, they have a whole nice little library for this as well. Scroll down a bit, right? You get the Coke can, the Red Bull, houses. There's a whole bunch of this that Spline provides. You can use these out of the box, but there's also a community tab, and you can see like what the community is sharing. See this nice little glass material. So this is like what you can use out of the box if you want. But you can also take these files, right? I'm gonna hit remix, and it's gonna prepare my file. And if I go up to retro glass material, now I'm in the actual design tool, and you can see I can edit this, change this, however I like to suit my needs. And not just with the community stuff, you can.
Yes, me more?
Today was River Fire.
Today was River Fire?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God we didn't go to Brisbane. It'd be fuck. Didn't even know that.
Do this with anything in the library. And that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to take this scene right here, remix it, make it our own, make it suit our needs for this onboarding screen that you see here with the animation. And lastly, back to the Spline homepage and tutorials, if you're really ambitious,
kinda cool.
you can learn 3D design yourself, and Spline has a ton of great tutorials walking you through how to create all this cool stuff in Spline. And if you're developing for Apple Vision Pro and this whole spatial computing, into the future, I think it's going to really benefit you to have at least some basic knowledge of 3D design. You don't have to be a full-blown 3D artist pro, but just basic knowledge, go through some of these tutorials, play around in here. I think that skill set is going to serve you amazingly in this world of spatial computing. And like I said, Spline has a ton of tutorials that you can go through. And the great thing about, working and building all this stuff in Spline that you're going to see here is that we're going to export it and it's ready-made for Xcode and SwiftUI and so easy to use in your apps. But this video isn't about teaching you how to design, how to use the design tool. It's about how do we get this design here into Xcode and SwiftUI so we can use it in our app. So I have my basic design selected. Let me go back to the home screen so I can show you what I did here because it may have been quick, right? I went to the library, scrolled down, I found a scene I like for our onboarding. It's this one right here. I clicked on it, and when I did, it opened up this tab up here that you see, kind of like the Xcode tabs, and we have our design. So the first thing I'm going to do is export this and bring it into our app because you're going to see just as is out of the box, it's not going to work out well for us. So we need to make tweaks to this, which is a good opportunity to show you how you can customize these designs to suit whatever needs you like. So let's export it. You can see there's a nice little export button up here. Now the cool thing about the export that we're going to see over here on the left, public URL viewer, this is all like web stuff. You can see you do files, images, videos, but there's very specific Apple platforms. See this Apple platform section here? You can generate an entire app on your own, but we're iOS developers. We don't need that. Vision OS, volumes and spaces. I might do another video about Vision OS later. This is more for iPhone development because it's where most of you are. Not too many people are on Vision OS.
Hey Galactus. How's it going?
Yet. So embed iOS. So when I click on this, you see I already get the Swift code there. You can see it a little bit, and it gave me a URL. So you have two options, and we'll dive into this as we're actually building the code. You can run this stuff from the cloud remotely, and your iOS app will make a network call to pull in the information to show your 3D render. Or as you see here, you can download the scene to local. And of course, there's trade-offs, right? If you're doing it remotely, you can change anything here in your design on the fly, and it will update in your app. You don't have to submit another app update. But now you're dealing with like network calls and all the internet stuff and all the edge cases that go on there. Like if your user doesn't have the internet, what do you show? So that can be a headache. So you can download them and bring them in local, but the trade-off there, even though you don't have to deal with network calls and everything will be super fast, is, for example, this file was roughly like 13 megabytes. So if you have one of those, two of those, not a big deal. If you have 20 of these in your app, well, now your app bundle, the download is going to get really, really big. So you may not want that. So trade-offs, make the right decision for your app. During the first part of the tutorial, I'm going to do it via the cloud because I'm going to make changes to this design so we can see those changes happen in real time in our app. So I'm going to copy this code snippet. You see import Spline runtime. We're going to have to bring in the package, and it gives us a content view. I kind of wish we could make this window bigger to like preview it, but we'll just have to copy it and go back to Xcode and paste it and hope we get what we want. So I'm not going to paste it over this content view, even though that's what it had. Like I said, I'm replacing this gray rectangle that you see here. So I'm going to go down and create another view. We'll call it a struct. We'll just say onboard 3D view. Nothing special. Again, naming is hard. Name it whatever you like. Do var body some view. There we go. And actually, I'm going to paste it right above that, and then we'll kind of take what we need, right? So import Spline runtime. We know we're going to need that, so I'm going to cut that and go up to my imports up here. Again, I'm using what I just pasted, and I'm going to like pick it apart. We have to import the package, right? We don't have Spline runtime yet, so we'll get there. So I'm going to take everything in the body, right? Because I already have var body some view. So I'm going to copy that, paste it into there, and then delete this content view and import SwiftUI. Again, that's just an artifact of what we pasted in. We pulled out what we needed, so now I can delete all that, which then leaves us with just our onboard 3D view with our body. And you can see we have the two options, right? If we're fetching from the cloud, we want to use this URL, and it gave us the URL. If we're fetching from local, we have to download the file, bring it into our project. We're going to do that at the end. Again, we're going to stick with the cloud for now. But you see, you're just pulling the bundle with the name of the file. And then here's our Spline view with the URL. And then ignore safe areas, what they gave us. We already have that up here on our rectangle. So I'm going to delete that down here. And if we go back and replace rectangle, we can also get rid of foreground style. Replace rectangle with onboard 3D view. And we're not good to go because we need the Spline package. So let's go file,
Spline
add
package
dependencies. Here's Spline iOS. You can either search for Spline iOS or paste in this GitHub link that you see here. I obviously had to rehearse this video and practice this video, so I've already searched for it, so it's in my recents. So add the package, add it. There we go. Do a Command B to get everything building. Build succeeded. You see my preview refreshing, and there we go. Here is our 3D design. If I go back to Spline, well, I'm going to get rid of the export. You can see there it is. But I want this whole view. You can see it's very zoomed in, right? Like it doesn't like fit our phone, right? If I look at the finished product, you see it's nice and small and it's animating. So that's what we're going to tweak. So back to Spline. Now this does have a bit of a learning curve, just like any design tool. Again, think if you've ever used Sketch or Figma. It took you a little bit to learn. Spline has a bunch of tutorials and videos to help walk you through this, but I'm going to show you what I did to get the desired outcome that I want. So first things first, right? This is like too big. So I took the size, took it down to 50%. You see that's much smaller. And then I don't need all this pink stuff behind. So you click this button here, which is edit frame. So there we go. So now I drag the frame down here to get it more, like reasonable for what I needed for my iOS app. So there you go. Close that out, get back to this. So now let's test this out. So export, again, because I'm running from the cloud, right? We didn't download the local files. If I download the local files, I would have to download them again, re-import them. So I think if you're tweaking your designs, probably best to do it from the cloud. And then, when you have your finished product, then you got to make the decision on if the cloud or local is best for you and what you're trying to do. But anytime I make those changes, right, I can hit update, but actually let's go to play settings because I want to do this too. So these are basically how you can interact with the 3D designs. So I'm going to change orbit to 1 finger because I try to do a 2-finger gesture on the simulator and it's just easier to point and drag. So that's orbit. So I'm going to hit update. And now without doing anything in Xcode, right, I'm not going to change anything. Now that it's updated, let's go back. Again, this should go on the fly. Let me refresh my preview and it should be smaller. There you go. It fits. And then now I can tap and drag. I couldn't do that before. So with orbit, you can see I'm all over the place. Like and the user has to touch this to drag it. So again, if you want the user to be able to manipulate your 3D object by touching and dragging, there you go. You don't have to do anything else. But I want the orbit to only be horizontal, right? I'm trying to mimic my animation here. I'm kind of just going side to side. I don't want to be able to go like this. So I can limit my orbit to horizontal only. So let's do that. Well, orbit limits, you can also set how far left and right they go. I'm not going to do that. Actually, no, I do need orbit limits because I need just horizontal. There we go. And hit update, so that'll keep updating it. Now let me show you how I can kind of tweak the design. So
can you hear me?
As you see in my onboard, I say build your brand because all this stuff around them kind of look like social media, like liking it, comments, music. So it's kind of like mimicking a social media app. By the way, this built with spline logo is only because you're on the free plan. If you pay for it, you don't have that watermark there. But back to the design. Let's say I didn't want those icons. So I said icons on the left, hit the little eye thing. We'll just hide those for now. This sphere, I can touch every little element. Say this sphere over here on the right. Let's color. I wanted to make it, I don't know, blue. You see that sphere turn to blue now. And any one of these, I can adjust where they go, right? Let me move this person. I want him over there. So my point is, you get this nice design out of the box, but you have full control, full reign to tweak it, move it around, play with it, change the colors, delete some stuff if you don't like it. Speaking of, I'm going to get back my icons. And of course, the better you are with the design tool spline, if you take the time to learn, the more you're going to be able to take this basic design and really make it your own. Okay, so I wanted to be able to pan it to show you that, but actually I don't want my user to be able to do this orbit. So this orbit, I'm going to disable. Pan, I'm going to disable. I don't want my user to be able to pinch to zoom, disable, page scroll. No, I don't want my user interacting with this, right? If we look at the design, it's just a nice, slowly animating, subtle thing, right? It's not meant to be interactive. But again, if
which first here, one second. It's free, and the other, checking all my 4 fully packed bags. Everything's there for the 5th time. That's what I do when I'm traveling in general.
Your app, you need your 3D objects. You have a sneaker, a shoe, and you want the user to be able to do all that. Don't do this, right? Keep it. But ours is just purely visual and aesthetic, so no interaction here. I will hit update. So now the last thing I want to do, and this gets into animations, is, like I said, I want this slow animation to pan. Right? If I hit this play button here, by the way, this is how you can interact. I'm clicking and dragging. This is the animation I want, right? This slow pan. Okay, so you don't get that for free. You have to create the animation. And it's very similar to keyframes if you've ever dealt with that. So I want to add a camera. So if I hit this plus button, this is how you add elements to the design, right? All kinds of shapes, particle emitters. Again, this is a full-blown design tool. I know I'm glossing over a lot of things because it's just too deep. And this isn't about Blender. This is about bringing the design into Xcode. But I wanted to show you a little bit of customization. So I'm going to add a camera. Okay, so now that I have my camera,
oh my god, yeah, be careful.
I'm gonna change my viewport to the
camera.
Careful
with that.
Camera's the default one, but I'm adding a camera to this scene. Okay, so I want to add states and events. So when you're animating something, you're animating it from a base state to another state. It's kind of like keyframe. So there's my base state. This over 20 seconds because I want it to be nice, slow, and subtle. I don't want it to be a super fast animation. And these are animation curves. You can change all that. I just want linear, nothing crazy here. Now the loop, I want this to go back and forth infinitely, right? So it's an onboarding screen. Hopefully they get by it pretty quick. But if for some reason they stay on the screen, it'll just animate back and forth slowly, and it'll just ping pong back and forth. So that is our event. If I hit play, I see the animation slowly, right? That's exactly what we want. That slow and subtle animation. So I'm gonna close out of here. Now again, export. I should just be able to hit update. And again, we're working from the cloud, so our app is gonna make a network call to pull this in. And if I go back to Xcode, let me do something here. Just delete the M, type the M again to refresh my preview. And there you go. The user can interact with it.
Nice.
I'm trying to click around, zoom. Nope, it's just a nice visual on an onboard screen, subtle animation. And
what does it say started 12 minutes ago? Where does it say that? No, I've been streaming for I've been on here for an hour and 40 minutes, and I haven't done nearly enough because I was on a call for with my dad for too long. It ended up being longer than I expected. I had to call him for something. I started streaming, then I had to call him for something. Then it ended up being too long of a call.
We're gonna let it go a little bit and you'll see it ping pong back the other way. But again, creating cool 3D animations in your app, I think it just adds an extra little high polished look. All right, now we're going back the other way. Again, subtle, 3D, high polished, really think this can add to your app. Now let's talk about local, right? We've been working with the cloud. And this is actually pretty simple because you see they already give you the code. Here's what you do fetching from the cloud. Here's what you do fetching local. But if we go back to Spline, on the export, you see this button here, download the scene to local. So I'm going to download it. I'm going to, instead of name it relaxing copy or whatever room, I'm just going to say on board. And in the desktop, I'm going to put it into my Spline file, which has nothing in there or folder. So again, back to Xcode. Now I'm going to comment out this URL from the cloud. I don't want that URL. And I'm going to uncomment the bundle URL, except you see I named it, oh, just crashed my preview. Here's why. Because I named, well, first of all, there's nothing in here. Let me go to desktop, Spline. Let me drag onboard Spline in there.
Bad.
Do
no,
make sure it's yeah. Target. And instead of scene, right, that's not the name of the file. The name of the file is onboard. That's why the preview's crashing, because it's like, hey, what is this file? I don't know what that is. Okay, so now we're running it from the local resource, and you see the same thing happening, right? We get the same thing. But again, back to that trade-off. If I go to my Finder, if I look at this onboard Spline, right click, get info, you see it is 13.2 megabytes. So again, if you have one or two of these, probably
I know, right?
world. If you have 20
it's
of them,
called Spline, and it works directly with Xcode for Swift. And you can make amazing, cool 3D animations and stuff. It's kind of like Blender. Yeah. I was just thinking though, can you use Blender with Swift? I was thinking that.
it's gonna blow up your.
But this would be so much easier. Spline.
So again, that's the trade-off between the cloud and local.
But you have to pay
note
for
about
it,
some minimum
obviously.
Specs. On iPhones, it does require iOS 16.
Well, I mean, you don't have to pay, but it gives a watermark if you don't.
And above,
of course.
or macOS 13 and above, and you got to be on
Which
Apple
is fine.
Silicon Mac. And I believe the A13 chip and above. So pretty high standards when it comes to operating systems and devices, but that's because it's using the latest and greatest. As you can see, it looks.
Hey, Guire. Yeah. Well, I wish I was at it more, but
great on
we're doing
iPhones,
a bit here.
iPads, but I really think Vision OS and moving forward with spatial computing, that's where this is really going to.
Let me see. Let me just check here. Can you use Blender with SwiftUI? SwiftUI 3D Scene Kit. Focus app from scratch. Part 3, making Blender egg model. Oh my god, you can do it. Animations from scratch. New add-ons are here. New Blender add-ons updates you missed.
In today's video, we're gonna go over
21 hours ago. Did Blender just get updated?
In today's video, we're gonna go over some very interesting new Blender add-ons and updates that took place during this week. Add-ons for creating decals, shading and textures, animation, and more. And this one is special because there are lots of interesting goodies in this one. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. We're gonna start with Easy Decals from AltTab, a popular developer in the Blender community. So this add-on is great if you need to quickly slap stickers, labels, or any image onto a model. This add-on is essentially a revamped version of the popular Stampede add-on, so it was enhanced for the process of adding realistic decals.
Blender.org. Procedural. What? Procedurally animated video? Whoa. What the hell is this? I know, I've just been blown wide open. Oh my god, what is this? Playing back real time in the viewport. Oh my god, Blender is omega powerful now. What the hell? Holy shit. That's insane. 3D John Avatar coming soon? You betcha. 100%. Oh my god. These guys are geniuses. It's like unbelievable what these guys make. What's the latest release? What's features? Man, I remember when that movie came out. Oh my god, insane. Download. Apple Silicon. They have a version. Oh, that's awesome. Did they have that for a while? What's new? Major improvements include full support for Vulkan, faster startup EV shape, Volt compositor, now with Grease Pencil Pass. This is the animation timeline support from importing multiple formats. HDR support? Oh my god. No way. Oh my god, it's popping off. That's incredible.
which is a new add-on.
So I just want to quickly look at this. And then I'm gonna edit my app real quick.
Hello, and welcome back. In this video series, we're going to create a timer app. It's basically a clone of the Forest app. What a user would do is that they would set an interval in which they'd want to stay focused. For example, here's where you would set how many minutes you'd like to stay focused for. And then once you set your minutes, you'd click the focus button. Right now for debugging, we have this set to seconds, but in the final MVP, we're going to change this to minutes. The goal of this app is to keep users away from other apps on their phone. So if they background the app, then the egg wouldn't hatch in this case. But for the Forest app, the tree would wither and die. In the Forest app, what they have is you start out with a sprout and you can select a kind of tree that you'd like to grow. And if you navigate away from the app, then the tree is going to wither and die. But for our case, the egg's not going to hatch. And in our case, when they complete the time for the amount they want to stay focused without navigating to another app, then the egg's going to hatch. The key distinction between the app we're going to create and the Forest app, at least for me, is that we're using 3D assets. So we have this 3D asset that I created in Blender. It has an egg, it has a cell fracture on it, and it also has a hidden object inside. For the Forest app, it's 2D assets. They also have a really cool feature that we're not going to be able to recreate, which is you can plant real trees. That's really cool. I don't know exactly how that works on their side, but that's what I think makes this app really popular. Okay, so the goal for
Didn't know
the
that.
video series is to create some kind of MVP. So we're going to have some coins that the user can earn where they can unlock other kinds of eggs to hatch different kinds of little characters.
Holy,
We're going to change this label to show how many minutes that they focused for an
those
individual
characters
minute.
look
And then we're gonna have some coins that the user can
so
earn where
creepy.
they can unlock other kinds of eggs
Is that a shark? Oh my god. Another shark?
to hatch different kinds of little characters. Focus button.
I almost had a
and
heart attack
they're gonna
looking
be
at
able
those
to
things.
click and stop and start again. And also, when they navigate away, it should reset the egg and not hatch the egg. I would also like to have a stretch goal of an analytics view. I'd like it so that we can show the user for our app. Let's say that the user has finished so really quickly. Then once it gets to the end, I want it to hatch. I want it to have some kind of cool animation that hatches the egg and shows the hidden guy inside. Both these assets
Dolls,
I
I
created in
would
Blender.
definitely get a
I'll
heart
link
attack.
to
Oh yeah.
the video series that I follow to create this little fox character.
Oh,
Subscribe.
you're a genius. Wait, you're a genius. Oh my god. I'm gonna make this app, but I'm gonna put Labubu dolls inside a Labubu box. Oh,
If you want to get notifications on when the next video is coming out, and I will see you next time.
I wanted to see them use SceneKit and create the
Hello,
file
and
in
welcome back.
Blender.
In this video, I'm easily distracted from social media, email, stuff like that. So if they complete or partially I'm actually not going to use the preview because that you add images is in the asset catalog. I'm going to click this plus icon on the bottom where you can search for image, distribute this app.
I'm just
And then
skipping through. They're probably doing the easy part for us, right? Yeah.
and we can style this. In the Forest app, I think that you set it by the progress like counting down. I want to add a separate focus, whatever. And then so we're going to have this button as trending palettes, and it's really easy to copy hex values directly from here. But anywhere that you find a color palette, even if it's through Google, you can do that too. Yeah, just find something that you like, and then you can start using it in the app. This is the color palette that I liked. And if you open it up with preview, you can copy.
Not gonna lie, I hate that color palette that they've chosen. I hate it.
Values. I liked the blue for
I hope both sides of your pillow
stays
warm
button to be
for
exactly
tonight.
the shade of blue. Maybe we can darken it up a little bit. That's what I want to do.
What does that even mean?
But while I have this blue here, let me go ahead and make the background color blue. tools to darken this color. You can get some luck by looking at some kind of shade generator. Using this guy here, I just put in the hex and then I can grab one of these.
Wait, how'd they
for
create
color
that hex?
timer, but let's just go ahead and add it. You're actually changing the, and we can style this text a little bit later. The next thing we're going to
How do they create that hex?
And then, so we're going to have this button. So I add either an paste it in. I wanted to mention that if you did, and in here is where I'm going to start creating that extension. You can probably find to do it for you. So I have a one that I like to use, so I'm going to just paste it in. I wanted to mention that if you didn't want to use the color extension, you can also add color sets this way, and you can have your own color palette just defined in assets instead of using the color extension. And back to our content view, I'm going to pull up my color palette.
I hope both sides of your pillow stays warm for tonight. Didn't you ever flip your pillow aside and it was so cold your whole mood switched? Oh yeah, I have, yeah. Like, but isn't it? Oh, I'm confused because was that a negative thing? Because I'd love for it to be warm both sides. When it's cold, I hate that.
Found this on Pinterest or something like that. I just searched for color palettes. You can also use this popular web hex.
Blah, 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 blah.
Dark actually. Said I want the timer to have these steps. I'm gonna start with an H stack, and then the circle a little bit more.
Let's see what they're doing with this.
Let's check. Make it at state, and we're gonna make that 60. Time remaining right now has to be a string because the text field takes a binding to a string, but we're going to figure this out a little bit later. We can either have a computed var or some other property that can tell us what the int value is of that. But let's first connect this guy up. Remaining, and you can already see the 60 there. We're just going to put in some styling now. All right, I just made it larger. I added the keyboard type as number pad, and the reason why is modifier to make it centered, and then I just added a little.
Pretty good, sir.
But it does have the advantage of not having to do conversions everywhere where I want to use time remaining as an integer.
I like this tutorial. You're a monster. How the F you like warm pillow after flipping? I don't want to lay on a cold pillow, you know?
So I'm going to make another state private var for time remaining value. And that's going to be,
I'm pretty sure,
60 at first. And then the other thing I want to do is add a did set. And the did set is going to keep time remaining updated. So when we update time remaining value, it's going to update the time remaining string.
It's right, I don't have more peeps here right now to bang me up. Yeah. No one here to help you. It's me against you.
And so time remaining is going to be time remaining value. I would also like to add a did set here to keep them both in sync, but the problem is that they will keep calling each other infinitely and it'll make an infinite loop. So I just have to pick one. And now I know that when I update time remaining, I also need to update time remaining value. But that should be fine because I only use time remaining here in the text field. So when I do change time remaining, then I want to update this time remaining value. And that's the only place I have to keep track of it. And there is this new on change where it returns two properties. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that. All right. And so when we change time remaining, we ignore the old value, but use the new value to set the time remaining value. This is the string, and this is
If let int value equals int new value, int value greater than 0, time remaining value.
Putting that string into this int.
Whoa.
Just keeping them updated.
Wait.
But only when the value is positive,
okay.
we can actually convert it. That
you
should
can
do
see you, and I am ready to die on this hill. Maybe you need a cold pillow because it's so hot there.
And let's
Where you are.
actually increase and decrease now. So time remaining value is
But
going
like I sleep better when I'm warmer. Like not hot, but like warmer than cold.
to be increased by 1 and to decrease.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably want to change the tint, right? So this is using the whole button. And the last thing I want to do is circular
Stroke.
I'd like to make this a little bit bigger. Start out there. We're gonna add a frame. And now that I'm thinking about adding a frame, I think I'm gonna add a geometry reader so that I can make.
Yeah, true. It does get 40 degrees Celsius here. But it's still a universal thing. Is it a universal thing where it's hot? Do you think people in cold climates would want to sleep on a cold pillow? Or get it cold? I guess they wouldn't be sleeping in cold necessarily, but like, what if their room was like normal temperature? Do people love cold pillows still?
The width of the circle be a percentage of the screen width. So let me go ahead and take a step back and put this inside of a geometry reader. And then we can make the frame a percentage of the geometry's width. So that's one way. Negative 90 degrees from up just to visualize something. And then the color, we don't want it to be gray, right? We want it to be a color from our color palette. So I'm going to, instead of colors, looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to take this custom circular progress bar, go back to our content view, and I'm just going to add this down.
This is actually a good tutorial because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to animating that circle.
We can see there's a little bit of
You might be dead the next time I see you.
overlap. We can fix that by adding
Dead on a hill.
some padding. And then this text now shot up quite a bit. I'm going to add some padding instead of using spacers. So I'm going to get rid of all these spacers now. And instead I'm going to add padding. So we have the header view. That's going to multi-line custom timer. And that's going
Where's
to
your
be
part 3?
here. Foreground style dot white.
I thought we were gonna get the blender thing like straight away, but we didn't.
Great. I think we've done enough for this episode. I hope you learned something today, and I will see you next time.
I just want to see the blender part. Where is it? Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I think.
Hello, and welcome back. Today will be about Blender. If you don't want to learn how to make a 3D model from scratch, you can go ahead and skip this episode and just download a model online. The easiest file extension to work with for 3D models with Xcode is USDC. But if you want to learn how to create a model from scratch, stick around and you're going to learn how to make the egg model in this video. If you don't have Blender downloaded, you want to go ahead and download it now. It's completely free.
The person speaking is it's so nice to listen to them. Is it just me? The fragrant flower blooms with dignity. New app will drop. Ooh. I'm waiting for the next Dan. Oh my god, it's popping off.
blender.org/download.
I still need to watch that show, Fragrant Flower.
When you open it up, it should look something like this.
Okay, they're doing a Blender thing here.
This is an add-on that and now I have an empty scene. I'm going to
create your egg. Let's see.
Pad 3, and now with the object selected, I want to go to edit mode. I can drop down and select edit mode, or I can this button. That's this.
I actually know how to use Blender somewhat.
Because
I used to do it all the time.
Now, if I move it up, it doesn't really look like an egg. But if I use my scroll wheel, it's going to change how much proportional editing is going to change the object. So I'm going to scroll up until I'm kind of happy with the shape. This is good for me. What I'm noticing is that there's still a lot of sharp angles to this egg. I'm going to fix that with something called a subdivision surface modifier. To add a modifier, I'm going to go ahead and go back to object mode.
Peak of madness, yeah. So it's so crazy what's happening there. The animation is insane.
And then go to the modifier tab, which is this wrench.
It's really fun. Not gonna lie. I used to do it all the time.
Viewport, and now looks a lot more like an egg.
I was learning it.
To apply this subdivision surface modifier, and then I'm going to shade smooth. I'm right clicking and then tapping shade smooth, and there's our egg. The last thing I want to do to this egg is add a material. This is a totally optional step. And if you wanted to export as it is right now, jump to this timestamp. If you export the egg as it is right now, it's going to look just fine. The level of detail that you can see in an app is pretty minimal anyway. But if you want to add some bump and noise and change the color, stick around, that's what we're going to do next. To change the viewport shading, we're going to click this next little icon up here. And then we want to head over to the shading tab here. So I'm moving the view
Oh, this
by
is all
tapping
new.
this hand icon
This
and then just
blender is
dragging
so
with
new.
my mouse.
Oh my
For
god.
this egg, I'm going to add a new material. I'm going to click this new button, and it's going to
Holy
provide
shit.
these two nodes for me. We can change the base color. Add it. Let's rename the shift. Hold down your scroll wheel, and then you can move and drop this here to the bump, something like 0.1. This noise to bring our egg up in the scene. If we go back to the description, this is the file extension.
Okay, what's
The
happening
last
here?
thing is to export this model. I'm going to
Export.
go to File.
Don't you look like a wizard right now with the hoodie? Do I? Oh yeah, especially if I do this.
Export, and we want to select Universal Scene Description. This is the file extension that works the best with Xcode. It says
Universal scene
USDZ,
description.
but we want USDZ, and we can change it right here. I'm going to make
Okay.
this egg model. Go to my Finder, my desktop, and open up the egg model. I can see my egg in Xcode. We want to export this to SceneKit. There's this button here, Export to SceneKit, and I can
what? How?
export USD. Now if I go to my Finder, my desktop, and open up the egg model, I can see my egg in Xcode. We want to export this to SceneKit. There's this button here, Export to SceneKit, and I can save it on my desktop, and there we have it. The last thing we want to do is bring this into our Focus Buddy app.
Oh
so
my
I have my egg
god.
model here in Finder, and I'm going to drag and drop this into Focus Buddy. Copy files to destination and finish, and we have the scene included. I hope you learned something today, and I will see you next time.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That was 6 months ago. Where's the rest of it? No. This is actually so good. Where's part 4, 5, 6? Oh my god. Incredible. Oh my god, he's back. We need those pics dropped in Discord. What pics? Wait, what pics? Oh, part 4, it's out. Oh my god. Part 5, part 4 and 5 are out. Oh my god. I'll watch it later though. I'm gonna subscribe. Coding swiftly. When's the last? Is that the last video they did? 6 months ago? I'm surprised they don't have more views. What the hell? Your wizardly picks. Oh. My wizardly picks. I gotta get some wizard picks. How deep are you in LeetCode? Okay. Time to bring in the big boys right now. By big boys, I mean just time to code. Gotta go big screen study. Swap Xcode. There we go. Let's do this. It shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, so let's swap my keyboard over. So what we're doing is we are. Now this is difficult. I'm gonna walk myself through it. We want to make still baby and LeetCode. We want to make this button conditional. So let's do a favorites. Oops. Oh shit. At state var favorites button visible bool false, right? So that's gonna determine that'll hold the value. And easy and two. Oh, 9 easy into under my belt. Oh, nice. Very good, sir. So where's button? Where's the button? Here. So I actually don't need an H tag here. Shows bottom accessory only when not on search to declutter. Wait, what have I done here? Shows bottom accessory only when not on search. Oh, yeah. Oops. So this part actually shows like the button is not. Why is the button sometimes visible, sometimes not? That's weird. Anyway, we're going to incorporate the button. So we're going to go take this, we'll go if favorites button visible, show the button. Right? So if we set this to true, where is it? This should show the heart. Right? Okay, cool. No, the heart is for adding a favorite, not for people. Or am I? Or am I actually? Oh God, I felt so sick earlier. I don't even want to. I'm trying to finish my soup, but I don't know how. It's so good though. Now it's kind of cold. All right, so we need that thing. We need that to. Let me turn on the music here. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. Should pair program. Pair program sometime. What does that mean? Like program together? Also, I'm assuming you're talking to Aniket, right? Okay, so we have a variable that determines whether the thing is true. Now we want that variable to be changed by on tapping. So we want to, for each of these cards, we want a dot on tap. And we want favorites button visible dot toggle. So we'll start with that. And it did not work. I literally tapped it and it's not there. I don't know why my VPS is running so slowly. Need VPN help? Oh no. I don't know anything about VPNs. Well, not really. I don't really ever use them. All I want to know is why is this not working? So on tap of the card, right? Am I missing something here? Maybe I need on tap of the... Oh, I need on tap of the H stack probably. Wait, why is it in an H stack anyway? Hold on. Why are we in an H stack here? Are we in an H stack for some reason? No, right? Dot on tap gesture. Favorites button visible dot toggle. Theoretically that should work. But it doesn't. What is it that would... Do I need... I really thought this would work, to be honest. Just like that. Disappeared into the shadows. Yeah. He disappeared into Samuel's VPN. He got scrambled. There's too much filling in here. Wait, is it the V stack that we need it on? Let's try it one more time. No. It did not work. What if we put it somewhere else? Let's say... Well, we can't do it in there because it's not... The button's only... If favorites button visible is true, it'll show a button, right? It should show the button. Yeah, so when we say it's true, it works, right? It's there. So we've got the button. Go in there. Got the button. But it doesn't want to show up. It doesn't want to toggle, actually. Maybe, okay, let's try the on tap on here. Perhaps it's here. Perhaps it's not. No, okay. I mean, I'm just thinking it's not in the right spot. Let's try one more time here. I don't know what this is, but... Okay, no, that didn't work. What if I tap the text? No. Interesting. Interesting. Why? Why does it not toggle the thing on a tap? The hell? Why am I immediately feeling sick again as soon as I took a sip of that? Let me take some water, hold on. God. Okay, where else would we be able to tap this? The cards. But we're literally displaying a card, bro. Okay, so it navigates to here. This navigates. So I just hydrated. I still feel sick. Oh man. Bro, what would... Maybe I just put it on the screen. I wanted to do something fun, but I don't think I can. I'm not advanced enough. I don't know how to get it on there. You know what? It might also be a bug. So screw this shit. Let's get rid of this. And let's move this button. And we're just gonna have... God, I'm getting sick again. Ugh. We're literally just gonna keep in this. And we're gonna put the button within the card, the selected item subview, right? Is it here? Yeah. Oh. I think it's gonna go here somewhere. No, it's not gonna go here. Sorry, it's gonna go... Where is it gonna go? What am I gonna do? Overlay? Am I gonna do... Fuck, let me just paste it in and set it up to be... Okay, guys, I'm actually feeling pretty sick, so I'm gonna go. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna keep hydrating. But yeah. I gotta go. I feel really bad. I'm smiling, but this is mega pain right now, so I wish I was not turning this off. I want to keep going, but yeah, I can't. I can't even think properly. Oh my god. All right. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, because I'm got the weekend, the next 2 days off, so yeah. All right. See you guys, and good luck, Aniket, with your transportation all the way to your college. Chat more on Discord, man. Talk soon. Bye. Thank you, man. I wish you sleep on some cold pillows tonight.